My name is Liz, and I've been working as a tour guide in Hawaii for several years now. My job is to escort tourists on expeditions to the most remote corners of the archipelago. The places I talk about often turn out to be little known, hidden from the eyes of most people. One such place was the island of Kahoolawe, a mysterious, almost forgotten place, surrounded by rumors and legends. The local people told stories of the island's curse, and that, since it was abandoned, no one had returned from there alive. But this only intrigued my colleagues. There were 5 of us. We decided to go to Kahoolawe to uncover its secrets. We reached the island on a small boat and landed on the shore. The island looked eerie, even in daylight. Everything around seemed colorless and dead. Dry grass, charred trees, and no sign of life. I had a strange feeling that we were not welcome here, but we continued our journey deep into the island, ignoring the growing sense of unease. As we delved into the forest, everything became even more ominous. Old trees, their trunks twisted and scorched, towed over us like shadows of the past. The wind whistled through their branches, creating a sound like distant cries. I had never felt so uncomfortable in the forest, and the further we went, the more I felt that someone was watching us. Soon, we came across an old village. The houses were in ruins, the roofs collapsed, and the walls overgrown with moss and lichen. It seemed no one had lived here for centuries. We began to inspect the houses, hoping to find some signs of the past. In one of these houses, I found an old diary. It was written in the Hawaiian language, but I was able to read some lines. "We have awakened them. The spirits of the island are angry. Death is approaching." I showed the find to the others, and we decided to continue our journey, hoping to find something else that could explain these words. Along the way, we came across an ancient temple, carved into the rock. Its walls were covered with strange symbols and inscriptions. My friend Jack decided to get closer and examine them more closely. As soon as he touched the wall, the ground beneath us trembled, and a deep, low sound rang out, like a cry from the depths of the island. Suddenly, Jack cried out and recoiled, as if he had been struck. We rushed to him, and I saw that his hand was covered with strange markings that seemed to pulsate, as if alive. Jack began to rave, saying he felt cold and darkness within him. His eyes rolled back, and he passed out. We all understood that we had to leave, but before we could take a step, the sky was covered with clouds, and an ominous darkness descended upon the island. Strange sounds began to come from all sides. Whispers, laughter, screams. I looked around and saw shadows moving between the trees. They were approaching us, and I felt the cold seeping into my bones. We all knew we had to run, and, lifting Jack, we rushed back to the boat. But the shadows pursued us, as if playing with us, appearing closer and closer each time. When we finally reached the shore, the boat was gone. My friends began to panic, screaming, and the shadows drew even nearer. I knew I had to keep myself together, or we would all perish. Suddenly, one of us, Michael, pulled out a torch and began to wave it, trying to drive away the shadows. It worked. The shadows retreated for a moment. We seized the opportunity and began to build a raft from the debris found on the shore. We managed to build a small raft and sailed away from the shore. When we were a few hundred meters away, the shadows disappeared and the sky became clear again. Jack, still unconscious, lay on the raft. We reached a larger island, where we were all picked up by a local fishing boat. Jack was taken to the hospital, but he remained unconscious for a long time. The other group members began to complain of strange dreams and a constant feeling of cold. I, too, cannot shake the image of those shadows and the strange feeling that I brought something back with me from that cursed island. I know one thing. I will never return to Kahoolawe. Whatever is there, it's better to leave it alone.